Now let's see how we can catch exceptions. So let's create a file reader object. Reader, we set it to a new file reader. And here we type file.txt. The name doesn't matter. Now, right after this line, we print a message like file opened. Now we have a compilation error because we haven't handled the file not found exception. To do this, we should wrap this code inside a try block. So we type try followed by curly braces to indicate a block of code. Then we move these lines inside this try block. Now, right after the try block, we type the catch clause. And here in parentheses, we specify the type of exception we want to catch. In this case, file not found exception. Then we give it a name. By convention, we call this object X, as in short for exception. So this X object is an instance of the file not found exception. It's an object that contains information about this exception. So here we add another block. And in this block, we print a friendly message to the user. Something like file does not exist. Now let's run the program. Our program didn't crash. This is the proper way to handle checked exceptions. Now, we can also get the message from this exception object. So we type x.getMessage. This returns a string, so we can print it on the terminal. File.txt, no such file or directory. This error message is defined in the file not found exception class. Okay. Now, what happened to this statement over here? We tried to print file open, but we are not seeing that message. Here's the reason. When a line throws an exception, the control moves to the catch block for that exception. So the code that we have after the offending line will not be executed. However, if I take this line and put it after our try catch block, it will get executed. Take a look. So now we have file open. So this is how we can catch exceptions in Java. Now let me show you a trick. I'm going to take this line out of our try block, put it over here, and then delete the rest of this code. So let's say we are creating a file reader object and the compiler is complaining that we haven't handled this checked exception. Now, we don't have to manually type a try catch block. We can put the caret over here, press Alt and Enter, and select surround with try catch. Isn't that beautiful? So IntelliJ automatically created this try catch block for us. Now here we're calling the print stack trace method of this exception object. This will show us something like what you saw before. So we got an exception of type file not found exception. Here's the error associated with this exception. Now look at the stack trace. This exception was thrown from the file input stream class. This is not part of our project. This is part of the standard Java library. So in our show method, when we tried to create a new file reader, the constructor of the file reader was called, and then internally, this class works with another class called file input stream. Here we have a few method calls, and this is where the exception was thrown. So sometimes you see a long stack trace because of the method calls in the Java standard library or other libraries that you use. Next, we're going to talk about catching multiple types of exceptions.